Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the It Girl Mindset. Today, we are talking about how I take care of my body. We are going in depth into all the nitty-gritty details, from movement to mindset to self-care to mind-body connection to how I use my intuition. We are going in. Okay. We're also going to chat about 3 different buckets that I use to take care of my body, and depending on where I'm at in my cycle, my energy levels, it determines how I use each bucket. We're also going to talk about how to tap into your intuition, how to use that to connect to your mind, body, figure out how to use your intuition for movement, for self-care, for nutrition. And we're going to do a deep dive of how I approach my nutrition at the end. And then we're going to go into even more tips after that. All things wellness, all things taking care of your body, okay? Before we dive in, I wanted to give a little bit of a life update. So this last week, I went to Tahoe, and as you know, it is my freaking happy place. I absolutely love it, but I think it's so easy to talk about how amazing it is to go travel whenever I want. But although I did have a fun time, it was really emotional for me. I don't drink, so sometimes, I can't. If I'm feeling a certain type of way, it's hard for me to bounce back. And so this weekend was super, again, fun, but I was so burnt out. This is the second weekend in a row that I was in Tahoe. I wasn't sleeping good. I wasn't using my regulating resource. So my nervous system was out of whack. I wasn't in my routine. I wasn't eating the same way. And honestly, I think I was just burnt out. And so it was like so hard for me to pull myself out of it. And I even had to skip a lunch one day where everyone left and I was alone. I just literally needed to lay in bed with my dog, and I did some breath work and some meditation, and then I did some things to fill my own cup. But I just wanted to give this little update because social media, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, this is all a highlight reel. I'm telling you all the good parts, but I just wanted to be open and transparent about some of the harder points in my life, because although it was an amazing weekend, I still had some really hard times. And, I'm just taking it as a learning experience because I was struggling so hard and I was kind of in a dark place, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And sometimes I even get frustrated with myself. Why do I feel this way? Why can't I just brush things off and move forward like a normal person? And I, can't use alcohol to numb those feelings and just move on and rally, because I don't drink anymore. So it's I think one thing I learned is when I'm on trips with people that are drinking a bunch, it's I need to do things that fill my own cup. I need to do as much of my routines as I possibly can, because I know that that's what makes me feel good. And I can't have fun if I don't feel good. That is just a fact. And I think, when you're with a big group of people, you don't want to go against the grain. 1, not drinking is already going against the grain. 2, I don't want to be I'm gonna have to do my own routines, where it's yeah, actually, I am gonna have to say that. I am gonna have to go against the grain, and I am gonna have to go do my own things. I am gonna have to go to bed earlier, because again, if I'm tired, I'm not gonna be my fun, bubbly self. I'm gonna be miserable. So anyways, again, just sharing that with you so you realize that Instagram, social media, all the things is a highlight reel. And although I did have fun, there were still really hard days for me, and I'm still navigating this whole not drinking thing. It's, been a couple months and, on and off for the last couple years, but I still am just learning how to navigate being around people that are drinking, because for me, again, it's I just learned that I need to do my own thing sometimes with groups like that. I need my alone time. I need to do things that are going to fill my own cup up. So good learning experience, although it was really hard in the moment. And I wanted to drive home, curl up, and just run away from all my problems, but I didn't do that. I leaned on my regulating resources, breath work, somatic work, just did as much as I possibly could to make myself feel good. And honestly, sleep is key. I feel like a new freaking human after getting sleep, after getting 2 good nights of sleep. It's crazy. But anyways, I just wanted to give that little update, and let's get into the episode. Welcome to the It Girl Mindset, where I help you step into the next level version of yourself by mastering your mindset, manifesting your deepest desires, and connecting deeply with your body. It's about becoming the most authentic, radiant, unapologetic, and unbothered version of yourself. Together, we're going to chat about how to unlock your true potential and create a life that feels as good as it looks. If you're ready to become the healthiest, hottest, and most abundant version of yourself, you're in the perfect place. Let's get into it. So, how I take care of my body and mindset is included because you all know I believe mind-body connection is so powerful. If your body feels good but your mind doesn't, you're not overall feeling good, okay? So to feel good in my body, I take a mind-body approach. And, I don't necessarily go by cycle syncing. I think that's a big kind of hot topic these days. And there's nothing wrong with cycle syncing, but I go by my own intuition and my own energy. Those are the two things that I use to determine how I take care of my body, how I take care of my mind. It is honestly kind of similar to cycle syncing though, just because our body naturally goes in these types of cycles. And depending on what phase of your cycle you're in depends on your energy, which is why I tap into my energy. Like if I have so much energy and I'm thriving, okay, cool. I'm going to do a more intense workout, whether that's on my menstrual phase or my follicular phase, Okay, so that's what I mean is like I listen to my own body, not what cycle syncing says, although a lot of times it does align. So depending on my energy determines what I do for my body and what I do for my mind. Before I get into the 3 different buckets, I want to talk about your intuition. So your intuition is this inner guidance in your body. It can show up in different ways, which we will go over, but your intuition is always guiding you to your best self. I truly believe that, okay? But to tap in and listen to your intuition, to be able to be like, I should push today and like push myself to do whatever it may be. This could be within the taking care of your body, or this could be anything, okay? For any type of goal, or just living your life, honestly, investing in a program. You can use your intuition for literally anything. But in order to tap into your intuition, you need to create space, okay? You must create space, because if you don't even have a moment to yourself where you're sitting and you're just letting something come to you, whether that's by hearing, by audio, or it could be a feeling, or it could be just kind of like the sense of knowing, okay? If you don't have space in your day, you're never going to be able to hear those pings. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, I had this great idea in the shower, is because you're usually you don't have your phone in the shower, you don't have someone you're talking to in the shower, it's just you and yourself, okay? And so the point is we want to create space. We want to make that space. And how that works is creating small moments in your day, okay? Even you can start with 5 minutes, and 5 minutes of just being with you, yourself, and that's it. No music. You can put on like a Hertz frequency or something, which I love doing. And I just want to say, this is going to be hard at first. It's not going to be like, actually, it might not be. I don't want to put that on you. Okay, it was not easy for me at first. I was very dysregulated. I had a million things going on in my brain 24/7. I was thinking like my brain would never rest. And so at first it was a little bit more on the challenging side for me. But then after I got more used to it, more comfortable, now it is so peaceful for me. Whenever I have a question about anything, I could be like, I could say making a big decision in business or something. I will sit with my intuition and let it tell me what it needs to. Or when it comes to, my taking care of my body, it's like, what kind of movement do I want to do today? I tap into my intuition and I give myself that space, and what my body needs will come to me in my brain. There are 4 main types of intuition. One is clairaudience. This is where you get a sense through hearing or audio, okay? It will be a voice coming through in your head. Number 2 is clairvoyance. This is an intuitive sense where you're seeing something, okay? I resonate with clairvoyance a ton. I have a little bit of everything, but clairvoyance, I see things in my brain so clearly sometimes, even something that's really exciting that's coming up in the next month. Literally the words just like I saw it in my brain and everything laid itself out, okay? The next one is clairsentience. And this is where you have a feeling in your body. I 100% resonate with this one. I get this a lot where since I have such a strong mind-body connection, I really feel things in my body. Like I get gut feelings. I feel like I get this like sensation in my heart, or like my throat is a big one too. Like my throat chakra, it always feels, whenever I want to say something, I have this intense feeling in my throat, or even when I want to cry, but I don't really want to, I'll like have this like intense feeling in my throat. The last one is claircognizance. And this is where you just have this knowing. So again, maybe I even have this example. One time my mom was like, just had a bad feeling about a friend. She just had this knowing. And I was like, no. It's fine. She ended up being right about it. And it's just interesting. It's just like this all knowing where you're like, no, I have a bad feeling about this. Even that gut feeling, that's more about the feeling. So that would be more clairsentience, but just this knowing. You don't know why, you don't know why, you don't know how, you just have this feeling, just being like, nope, that's not for me, or yes, this is absolutely for me. Okay. It's just this intuitive knowing. Okay. So I would love to hear in the comments which one you resonate with most, because I feel like it's so interesting and everyone is so different. I definitely feel like I get a little bit of everything, but definitely clairvoyance and clairsentience are the two top ones for me. So again, how to connect with your intuition. You have to create space. You have to practice stillness, like I already mentioned, and just start to notice what comes up for you. This is what I want your homework to be for this week, is to just start to notice any kind of sensations in your body. If you kind of hear things in your head, I will say too, it's really important that you're in a regulated state, because if you're having like these fears and anxieties, that's not your intuition. That is fear, your ego. It's not your intuition. Your intuition comes to you in this calm and grounded, and it's always positive. It's never negative. So if you're having negative self-talk, that is not your intuition. Okay. That is the ego speaking to you, okay? Even again, like I said, close your eyes, feel the sensations in your body, and just notice. So now talking about the 3 buckets. My 3 buckets are self-care, movement, and mindset work, okay? Depending on where I'm at energy-wise, depends on how I take care of my body. So if I have 0 energy, which is typically around my luteal phase, which is the phase right before your period, or in my menstrual phase, it's usually the week of my luteal phase in the first day of my period. After the second day of my period, I'm honestly good, but we're talking about 0 energy here. I usually lean into a ton more self-care and a ton of mindset work, because I usually have a little bit more anxiety and fears coming up for me. And I usually focus on just kind of like a light walk. Okay. So again, no energy. I'm doing a ton of mindset work, a ton of self-care, and a ton of rest. Honestly, that is what I do when I have 0 energy. But how I determine that is, a lot of times I will every single morning sit down during my morning routine, and I take the last 1 minute to be like, okay, body, how are you feeling today? What do you feel like doing? And a lot of times I'll see myself doing maybe a Pilates workout, or I'll see myself going for a walk, or maybe sometimes I'll hear, you just need to take a rest day today. Okay. So I really tap in and I close my eyes and I ask myself what I need to do for my body today. Okay. After I tell you each energy level, I'll tell you what I have in each of my buckets. And then if I have low energy, I'll definitely go for a long walk. I will probably still do a bit of self-care and do a ton of mindset work. Okay. Again, lower energy, I kind of lessen my movement, not 0 movement, but I lessen it. So maybe just go for a really long walk, listen to a podcast that inspires me or something like that. And then if I have kind of a middle energy, so let's just say energy is 5, 6, what I will do is maybe do a body weight Pilates workout or more yoga type of workout. And then I'll really lean into, walking and saunaing. And so again, I'll do a little less self-care. Mindset work, I try to have a minimum, but again, depending on how I'm feeling, depends on the amount of mindset work I do. And then on times when I'm having a ton of energy, what I will do is I'll do kind of either strength training a little bit, heavier weights, and I'll maybe even go for a run if I'm feeling like it. I never force myself to run, but if I have this intuitive ping that I'm go for a run, that's going to feel so good, I do that. And then again, a little less mindset work, a little less self-care. So see how I am shifting with my body. I'm not forcing myself to go on a run when I have 0 energy, and I'm not forcing myself to kind of relax when I have a bunch of energy. Okay. So I really use my intuition and my energy levels to guide me. And when you learn to have a mind-body connection, it is so powerful, because you never feel guilt. You never are oh, I should be doing this, but I really am only going to do this. When I am even right now, I'm about to start my period. So I have minimal energy, lots of PMS. I am focusing on, even today, okay, I felt like I had a bit of energy this morning, so I did a super lightweight Pilates workout and a 30-minute walk so far. I might go for another longer walk later if I have the energy for that. I'm focusing on more like self-care, sauning, like really focusing on sleep. I'm getting into bed at like 7 p.m., okay? When you have a mind-body connection, you learn to honor your body, and the guilt disappears because you're like, I'm doing what I need to take care of my body. I'm not feeling guilty for resting. I'm not feeling guilty for allowing myself more self-care than normal or getting in bed earlier, okay? And so when you take this approach, you're acting out of care for your body and love for your body, not fear, not punishment, okay? When you shift this perspective, that's when you will see the results that you crave, okay? Now I just kind of wanted to read off what I do for self-care, movement, and mindset. I kind of have these different menus, okay? And depending on my energy levels, the amount of time I have, what my intuition is guiding me to, that's what determines what I do when, okay? So for self-care, dry brushing, just got into this, just did this for the first time last night, and honestly, it wasn't super comfortable, like the bristles, like it honestly felt like exactly what you would think. You're just brushing your dry skin. But I don't know. It was kind of like a moment to just like be alone with your body. And I don't know. I was just like looking at my body in the mirror and just like appreciating it so much. So I actually really loved it, even though the bristles were like kind of scratchy. But bath, which I want to do more of, face in the sun, massage, sauna, reading, aromatherapy, Theragun. Okay, so these are all kind of like self-care rituals that I have. And if I find something new that I like, I'll add it on there, okay? It's not like I have this strict regimented. It really is allowing myself to use these buckets when I need them. It's like finding the right tool for the right job. Next is movement. So I've got like Pilates, walking, running, I do body weight Pilates and lightweight Pilates. We've got strength training, stretching, dancing, run, mix of everything. Okay. So again, depending on my energy, depending on my intuition, this is the other thing. I move my body every single day. No questions asked. But what I do depends on my energy, my intuition. Okay. I don't allow myself to not do anything, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. If I'm like really struggling, okay, it depends. Like if I'm debilitated and my period is like taking over my life, I'm not like, okay, I have to go for a walk. I'll let myself feel better and then I'll go for a walk, because I personally don't have horrible periods. And if I do, it only lasts like an hour. Also, if you have not normal periods and they're like so intense, that is common, but it's not normal. And you should listen to my podcast episode all on period health. So for mindset work now is the third bucket. So I've got subconscious reprogramming, I've got breath work, journal speak, which is like brain dumping all your emotions and then deleting it, affirmations, regular journaling, gratitude, meditation. Okay. So again, I've got all these different menus and I use the right tool for the right job depending on how I feel. That's the power of this mind-body connection. If you want to strengthen your mind-body connection, a great way to skyrocket that connection are mind-body activation sessions. And these are one-to-one sessions with me where it connects mind, body, music, movement. Okay. It is so, so, so powerful. We use the energetics and emotion of music to empower us to feel the way that we want. It starts off usually with NLP, and then we move into some light stretching and warming up, and then we move into an actual workout, and then we use that energy from that workout to shift our new belief. It's so, so, so powerful. And I have something really exciting coming up in the next month that will give you a free opportunity to try it out. So be on the lookout for that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram to make sure you're up to date, and make sure you are signed up for my newsletter. My email list always sees everything first. Okay, now let's talk about nutrition, because this has its own separate category, because what you put in your body is so important. What you put in your body determines how you feel. Period. If you're eating like shit, you're going to feel like shit. If you're eating healthy, amazing, nutrient-dense foods, you're going to feel fucking good. Okay? I think nutrition is so, 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 so important. And I think a lot of people think that eating healthy equals boring. I love the food I eat. I crave the food that I eat. And I do it in a way that's not restrictive. Okay? I'm listening to my hunger and fullness cues, but if I'm having a craving to eat some ice cream, I'm gonna freaking eat some ice cream. And even if I'm full and I'm like, oh, it can't be, I'm not the person that's like, I'm too full to eat dessert. No, never will be me. Okay. There's always room for dessert. So even if I'm full, I still eat dessert. But I just know, okay, maybe I'm not going to feel as good. Okay. And so I do that limitedly, and it's not all the time, but I listen to my cravings and honor my body. If I go to a birthday and I don't want anything, I have a zero problem being like, no thanks, I'm good. It really is that simple. And I know it's hard to set boundaries sometimes with food when maybe we have some people pleasing tendencies, but what you put in your body is so important, and it determines how you feel, and how you feel determines how you show up. So if you have goals and you want to feel good, you need to take care of your nutrition. Period. Okay, so how I focus on nutrition. Number one is fiber. I am focusing on all the plants I can possibly stuff into my face, okay? I want tons of plants, tons of fiber, because fiber is good for digestion. Fiber also feeds good gut bacteria. Okay, there are so many amazing benefits to fiber. Also, just micronutrients are so powerful for how you feel. Next is 99% whole foods. I feel like people are like, oh, 80-20 rule, and I kind of fucking hate the 80-20 rule. Okay, I eat vegan pizza every once in a while, okay? I eat some processed food, but it is limited, and it's usually only when we're like traveling or whatever it may be. I eat so healthy all the time because, like I've said in a million episodes, feeling good is my number one priority. So I eat 99% whole foods, and I crave those foods too. And it's not miserable. If you look at it from the perspective of it's going to be miserable, it's going to be miserable. I do so much mindset work, and I've healed my relationship with food, and I crave these types of foods, so it doesn't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I eat protein with every meal. I wouldn't say I'm like eating a bajillion grams of protein, but I'm prioritizing protein at every single meal because that's what makes me feel full and satisfied, builds muscle, all of the good things. I eat until I'm satisfied. With nutrition, again, you have to have a good relationship with food. If you do not have a good relationship with food, you struggle with binge eating, or you have sugar cravings and you drink soda all the time, whatever it may be, you need to focus on your relationship with food first, okay? That is going to be the catalyst for everything, okay? I know because I struggle with binge eating. I had disordered eating for a decade, and there's no way that you can choose correctly when you have a negative relationship with food. You have to start there because willpower will give out, okay? You need to rewire your beliefs about food and create new healthy habits around food and your mindset around food. That is step one, okay? Because if you have a bad relationship with food, you're not going to be able to eat till you're satisfied because your brain and body are completely off. You have food guilt. You have so many emotions tied into food that you're not going to be able to stop when you're satisfied. That's why some women are able to, stop when they're satisfied. Others aren't. And it's because of their relationship with food. And it's such an important first step. And honestly, it was one of the most life-changing things I ever did for myself. Thank God, which is why I help women do this now, because how you feel about your food is it's like one of those things. You can't just like, okay, just don't eat food. We actually have to eat food, which is why it can be a challenge for women. But when you change at the subconscious level, you will be able to easily shift your relationship with food. That wraps up the nutrition section. Lastly, I'm just going to go over a couple of other tips on how I live my life and really take care of my body, my mind, and my being. Ingredients. I read ingredient labels, okay? If there are more than 5 things on the ingredient list that I am like, what the heck is that? It's a no from me, okay? There's some gluten-free and there's some vegan stuff that is unhealthy, okay? Don't let the gluten-free, don't let the vegan be like, oh my God, or even organic. Don't let those labels be like, this is automatically healthy for me, okay? What you need to do is make sure you're reading the ingredient labels. If there is like a million huge words and you're like, I have no idea what these mean, probably not something you want to put in your body, okay? I do that not only for food, but also for products, okay? That I put on my body, my skin, my face, like my hair even, which is a new thing. If there's a bajillion ingredients and I'm like, what are these things? Probably don't want to put it in my body because what you put on your body absorbs into your skin. Another tip that I kind of already mentioned is I have zero food guilt. If I eat vegan pizza, zero food guilt. If I eat ice cream, zero food guilt, okay? When you shift your perspective to taking care of your body, it's not about being perfect, okay? It's about just taking the action to feel good. So I don't have any food guilt. And I already told you my whole spiel about healing your relationship with food. But when you have food guilt, you're actually putting stress on your body, which is putting you in a dysregulated state. When you're in a dysregulated state, your body is in fight or flight mode, which means its only focus is on survival. Okay. It's not going to balance your hormones. It's not going to digest optimally. Its only focus is survival. So the food guilt is actually holding you back. Your relationship with food is holding you back. So again, take that tip first, please. Last tip about nutrition is to listen to your cravings. They are trying to tell you something. I even, for example, went to my homeopathic doctor back in the day and I was like, I just crave chocolate all the time. I don't understand why. He's like, oh, you're probably not craving chocolate. You might have a magnesium deficiency because there's a ton of magnesium in chocolate. Okay, so that's just one example, but listen to your cravings. If you usually have a salad every single day for lunch and you're craving maybe oatmeal, even though it's a breakfast food, eat the oatmeal. Okay, your body is craving something for a reason. Deeper the mind-body connection, the more knowledge, the more power, and the more you just get to know yourself and honor what your body needs and is craving, the easier it's going to be for you to see the results that you want, okay? Simple as that. Instead of looking at your cravings as like, oh my God, why are these here? Again, that's putting your body in that stressed out state. When you're like, ooh, why am I getting this craving? What am I searching for here? Is this an emotion? Is this, something that I actually just want? Am I actually hungry? Okay. Just get curious about it. I actually have a whole other episode on how to navigate cravings, so I won't get into all the details, but I just wanted to say your body deserves you to focus on that mind-body connection so you can truly learn to understand yourself and know that your body's never trying to screw you over or, I always thought my body was trying to make me fat. Like literally I had this fear that my body was just like my mind and body were just trying to make me fat. And I'm like, your body's not trying to self-sabotage you. It's crying out for help. If you're having some sort of craving or whatever it may be, it's doing that for a reason. And the more you look at it from that perspective, the easier it is that you're going to be able to show up in the way that you want to and take care of your body in the way that you want to. And ultimately, the results that you'll get from taking care of your body. Okay? Okay, my loves. That was a lot of information, but I just wanted to go in depth on all the things that I do to take care of my body. And you all know it starts in the mind. So if you want to send this to a friend who needs to hear this or would be helpful, that would mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next episode, my loves.